What's going on, everyone? I'm your host, Alonzo Williams Jr., and this is Life in Fatherhood. All right. Hope everyone's doing great today. Have a very awesome episode that is right in time for holiday season. As I'm recording this, it is October 18th, 2025. And you know what that means? Like I just said, it's holiday season. So it's going to be, if you haven't felt it already, you know it's coming. The hectic scramble to buy as much as we can with what we have. But today we're going to talk about something a little bit different. Today we're going to talk about something that is very important, very pivotal if we're still talking about growing wealth, when we're still talking about leaving a legacy for our friends and our families. And so that's exactly what we're going to get into. The biggest thing about wealth, when I think about it, just as how I grew up, the image that was always shown to me, the image that was always portrayed to me growing up as a kid was wealthy people just had enough money to do leisurely things. So you could tell somebody was wealthy because they could go on expensive trips. They could buy multiple nice cars, brand new cars. They have multiple homes, and they could pretty much just do whatever they wanted with their time. If they wanted to sit around for a year and just indulge in life's vices or whatever, they could do that. That's what wealth was portrayed and even taught to me as a child. And I'm sure, like a lot of you all who are listening to this now, so you've receive the same message, you know, that wealth is like wasteful in a way, or wealth is meant to be spent, meant to be used to consume. But the more I grew and got around different people, the more books I read, and the more I just in prayer and then speaking with God, the biggest thing that stuck out to me was really, now I think about it's pretty obvious that wealth is more than just consuming. Wealth is about stewarding what you have to the best of its ability, being able to still grow and thrive, even if you're not making a whole lot of money, being wise with your money, but also creating the next generation's better outcome. Wealth is more than just having the money and spending it on whatever you want to spend it on. Real wealth is being able to leverage your time to spend more time with your family. Real wealth is not spending it on a nice car, but being able to give to those who may never, you know, be rich, those who will maybe never even have a home of their own, but still being able to be a shining light to others. That's real wealth. Real generational. That's what real generational wealth looks like. And so, what I want to talk about today is different ways in which we can still generate that wealth during this season and really break down what it means to be wealthy and what that even looks like. That way, when we experience the tugs and pulls of this holiday season, we're able to still keep a level mind, keeping the main thing. When we're tempted to consume more instead of just buying stuff, we're going to look at things a lot different. So, one of the things that I think of when we talk about generating or having that generational wealth, one of the strategies that we've done is we decided to take the step to invest in life insurance policies for my wife, for myself, even for our boys. We set our boys up with whole life insurance policies. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not going to claim that, but there is some information out here that, you know, if I knew when I was younger, I would have taken advantage of it sooner than I did in the past couple of years. And so the reason why we felt like this was a wise move to get us started on our legacy journey, especially for our boys, is right now I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and we decided to get whole life policies with a very nice face value about a year and a half ago. I want to say about a year and a half ago. But with those whole life policies, by the time that they're 18 and by the time that they're grown and it's time for them to go out in the world and do their own thing, they can borrow against that. So for those of you who may not know, when you have a whole life policy and you've paid over time, it actually you're able to get dividends back on that cash that you invested. So when it's time for them to get a car, they want to invest in a business, if they want to have their own home, whatever they want to use their money for, they already have a nice big stack of money that they can tap into right away. They don't have to scrape and claw to try to figure it out. We already take care of it for them. Right? And so that's another way of thinking about wealth. Planting seeds. Wealth isn't just about having money to go spend on expensive meals, but just planting those seeds for the next generation, for your sons and your daughters. That's a very important, powerful thing that goes a long way in the long run. Another thing that, of course, another thing that is very powerful when we're talking about building wealth, especially without trying to burn out, is thinking of investing into, like, making little small investments. Once again, going back to that seed mindset, you don't really have to jump into anything crazy, crypto trading or day trading or anything like that. You can just do something as simple as a high yield savings account. Something as simple as that. If you put in, say, $20 today, and this is just an example, of course, and say you put in $20 today and you just leave it, this time next month, it could be $120 in there. You can use that money how you see fit. But that's another way of planting the seeds and building those practical ways to generate more income while you're sleeping. That's money that's being made while you sleep. Thinking about that, right? Thinking about the mindset of, hey, we have this amount of money left over from shopping, or we have this amount of money left over from whatever it is, or even if somebody decides to give, money for your kids. You know how people will give you money to spend on your kids. The next way of thinking is, hey, this dad gave us $50 to get them something. We'll just use that, put it into the health savings account, or and let it just stack up and build in that way. Another thing to think about when we're talking about building that generational wealth is building skills. We talk about building skills. That could be anything that's long term. It's more than just a side hustle. It's really just like learning useful skills to that helps you, helps your family, helps others. So, for example, it goes back to that saying, "Hey, you can teach someone to you can teach a man to I'm over fumbling. What was it? It's like you can teach if you teach someone, no, if you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day, but if you teach him how to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. So those life skills generate wealth in numerous ways. Because the economy, it goes up and down, right? It's going to be a economic boom, what we've seen throughout history. There's economic collapses. There are so many different things and so many different ways that the certainty that we have up on our feet just comes and goes. But when you have skills, say you have the knowledge of how to build with your hands, say you have the knowledge to hey, the knowledge to make money. Not everybody knows how to make money. Some people know how to look at a situation and know how to extract the income from it. Building skills, being able to build those talents and build those skills, not even just for the sake of money, but just for the sake of longevity. Something that you can pass on to the next generation, and something that, when your descendants or when your kids have kids, they can pass it on to them. And who knows, that could be a new business idea for the next generation. We see it all the time, right? Another thing that you can think of when we talk about building wealth without trying to, of course, burn out, break the bank, especially during this holiday season, is going back to stewardship. Don't be afraid to reshift your budget. Really take strict evaluation of where you are currently and see, hey, what are some things that we could trim away? What are some things that we might need to add? Hey, we might need to next football season. I'm a football head. Next football season, instead of getting season passes, we'll just go to a couple games and the money that we would have spent for those season tickets. Hey, we could just use that and we could invest it somewhere. We could put it into another account or just use it in unique ways, unique creative ways. That's another way of thinking there. So the money that you might have spent on I'm gonna suggest something a little selfish. If you're a type of family that likes to just give people gifts each year, to say, hey, this year we're doing something a little different. That money that you would have get used for a gift, you could use that towards your family. And use that to invest in whether it's a skill or new experience or anything. It goes a long way. Another practical way of building some wealth or building wealth without burning out is making sure to, once again, just think of different legacy accounts. I mentioned whole life or high yield savings accounts, all these different accounts that you can use, all the different accounts that you can invest into that will set them up for the next generation. Because the truth of the matter is we may not be millionaires in our lifetime, but one thing that our children won't be able to say is that dad didn't set us up. One thing our children won't be able to say, dad didn't take care of us. We're out here. One thing they can't say that, hey, we're out here struggling, not even able to do certain things because dad didn't set anything to the side. They can't say that about us because we're doing it right now, right here, taking care of it with gaining that knowledge of the different accounts, gaining knowledge of the different opportunities in which we can make the money work for us and for our families. So one thing though is here's how it does get tricky, because burnout, it happens when, of course, you're working nonstop and like you never rest, you never recharge. So you really do have to ask yourself, like, when we're on this journey, we have to really be serious and ask ourselves, can I keep this pace for the next 5 years? Can I keep this pace for the next 10 years? It goes without saying, if you think that and it's like, no, I really can't do that, then you need to just go ahead, take a step back, give yourself time to adjust and pivot from there. And of course, the next thing you have to really accept is that wealth without health just isn't wealth at all. Taking care of ourselves, making sure we go to the doctor to get those checkups. One thing I haven't done in a long time, I'll just be very vulnerable right now. Went to the doctor for a routine checkup in, I'd say, probably 8 years. Thankfully, I'm not in bad shape at all, but it shouldn't have taken me 8 years to go to the doctor's office to monitor my health and make sure that I'm healthy and strong. Something as simple as that. Of course, there's some things I have to work on, I can get better at health wise, but as I'm on my own with journey and making sure that myself and my family is straight, it's been really driving. It's been really rolling in my mind that, hey, it's important for me to be healthy, not just be here for them, but I can't generate wealth. I can't help make my family wealthy if I am not here. So I really want you to remember those things. Avoiding burnout just means it's about pacing. Can I keep this pace? Are we able to live off this budget? Is this budget sustainable? When can we open these accounts? If we're not today, then we could do it at the beginning of next year with when the tax incomes come. Yeah, wealth is more than money. It's that freedom, it's that health, it's presence. And of course, it's teaching our kids by that example that success doesn't have to come with that exhaustion. You don't have to beat yourself into the dirt to be a wealthy, rich man. So I thank you for rocking with me today on Life and Fatherhood. Okay, if this hits home, what question I want you to share with another dad who's trying to figure it out? We're all in this together. We can't do it without each other. All right. Also, want you to, if you enjoyed this content, to go to our Navigating Postpartum Wellness website and come join the community, Life and Fatherhood community at Navigating Postpartum Wellness. There you can see blogs, list of other podcasts, and get in touch with our YouTube channel, our other free resources that will help you grow in your journey as a man, as a father, as a husband, as a partner. Let's collaborate, let's work, and God bless.